do want to get into our final questionnaire of the show. Just 10 questions sort of down the line for you. So you can each answer yourself for what feels right, however you want. First question is, what is your favorite TV show of all time?
Ooh, favorite TV show of all time.
Wow.
Holy crap.
So you put the qualifier in there of all time. That's tougher.
Oh crap, I don't know. There's so many good ones.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The Office.
The Office.
Oh.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Like, it stressed me out so much every single episode.
It's the 2010 Three Kingdoms. It's a Chinese historical drama about the romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Oh. It's like a part of me feels obligated to say Doctor Who because it is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Always Doctor Who.
I figured.
Never gonna change.
Oh my lord. Can I only choose one?
Either Big Bang Theory or Stranger Things.
I would say either Breaking Bad or Haunting of Hill House.
Probably a tie between 3 shows that I grew up on. Batman the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series. Those 3 90s shows.
It's the original X-Men series. I loved that cartoon. I would watch reruns of it over and over and over.
If it wasn't for them, I don't know who I'd be today. Or at least part of me.
So much of my fandom, so much of my geekiness comes from that show.
I have like maybe top 1A, 1B, 1C. So Lost being the one that was like blew me away. The one that like I still think of very fondly and I want everyone in the world to watch is Fringe. And then I think Scrubs.
Because it's just top of mind, probably Game of Thrones.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say my favorite TV show of the past 2 years has easily been The Bear.
This might be recency bias because I've seen it so recently, but I loved The Last of Us. So that's in recent memory, that's my favorite.
Okay, The Last of Us. It was so well made and they followed the storyline perfectly. And they even kept so many things from, like, even the Easter eggs from the game.
This might not be true or reflective at all, but the first thing that's coming to mind is Yellow Jackets.
Oh,
nice. I think it's a Showtime series.
Yeah.
It was the first one that came to my mind, so clearly I love that show more than I can explain why. But
I have to go with like something that I just like will rewatch all the time, which is like TNG.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Well, yeah, Buffy is my favorite TV show. Buffy's my favorite thing ever. So
It has to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. I'm so obsessed with it. I'm not saying it's the best show ever, because it's not.
It's terrible.
The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was one thing that really changed things for me.
I really like The Walking Dead. I think The Walking Dead was the very first TV show I watched. It came out the year I turned 13, and I was terrified.
And I'm like, Doctor Who, Steven Universe, 7 million other things.
There's Farscape.
You can only pick one, though.
I know, but I can't. I can't. You know, I'm right there with Firefly, the original animated Avatar.
Avatar Last Airbender.
Nice.
That was gonna be yeah.
Attack on Titan. Airbender. Oh, I could say that? Okay, mine's Attack on Titan too.
I'm gonna stick to anime. I'm gonna say Naruto.
Yeah.
Number one. Just grew up on Naruto and, you know, it's done a lot for me.
I really love Full Metal. I think I'm gonna say Full Metal. No, I lied. It's Finland.
Parks and Rec. Did I do it?
But the TV show that changed my life is Doctor Who. Don't hate me.
What is your favorite film of all time?
Oh, fuck. Shoot, I know this. That is asking who my favorite child is.
I think this question, like, I love it so much because it depends on the day for me. It like,
totally.
If I'm feeling like, you know, sort of like introspective, or like if I'm feeling like adventure, like it just, right now in this very moment, I think that my favorite movie is Frances Ha.
For me, it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Children of Men.
Inception.
Interstellar.
Ooh, The Matrix. Kick-Ass.
The original Halloween from '78.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. I always go to, people ask me that question and I'm like, well, it depends on my mood or it depends on this. And I'm like, does not matter. You put on Jurassic Park, I'm there.
I'm gonna say White Oleander.
Burlesque with Christina Aguilera and Cher.
Sound of Music is actually just front to back a great film. But I'm also a big fan of Apatow comedies, so 40-Year-Old Virgin, Superbad, Knocked Up, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Scream, Little Giants, The Greatest Showman, The Cutting Edge, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
The first Scream.
He said it, but I love Scream.
Oh, you know what? It's a Stephen Chow movie from 1995 called A Chinese Odyssey. I think that's the English name. It's basically the Journey to the West story.
Tombstone, surprisingly. You ever heard of it, Tombstone?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's insane because you would think it'd be something Marvel or DC, but it's this Western movie that, of course, a lot of people love, but you would never think it's my favorite movie.
My main answer would be the 2013 movie Rush. Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl, who are in the MCU, playing Niki Lauda and James Hunt. So good.
It is still one of my favorite movies is Truman Show. After that, I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I was like, wow, he's a good actor. Like, actually.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think that is an amazing film. It's filmed beautifully. I've always been a Jim Carrey fan, and I was so proud of him in that.
Ooh, mine is easy. It's Up. I love Pixar. I love the Toy Stories. But Up is probably my all-timer.
Purely for nostalgia would have to be Toy Story. It's just something I can put on when I'm feeling like unwell or just like down in the dumps. Like there's something so good about that animation style and everything that just appeals to my child brain that loved it so much.
My instinct is to say Ratatouille. My family is going to absolutely roast me for that.
Disney's Mulan. I'm just going to say that because like I'm like trying to think what movie have I seen way more than once, and I'm like I feel like that's like the only movie that it's back on TV. I'll just like let it play.
Normally it's like The Little Mermaid, but I'm kind of thinking like way back, and it's Nausicaa of the Windy Valley.
Digimon Adventure, Last Evolution, Kizuna. It's a film that is all about growing up and about accepting the futility of life, and it's one that holds a very special place in my heart.
I mean, I know it's hack and they called it out in Gen V, but like it's Star Wars, man.
Can I say Star Wars?
My go-to has always been The Empire Strikes Back.
That's not a weird answer at all. Actually,
I know, but at this point, everyone's like, Star Wars. This is a stupid answer. It's like, no, but it honestly is.
It's magic, man. They got laser swords. It's cool.
It was the first like surprise emotional impact, being a kid. Like I cried at the reveal of like Luke's father, and like I was just like, oh, it was like so blown away.
Okay, I'll just give you top 3: Star Wars, Princess Bride, and Goonies.
My top 3 always cycle, but I'll just go with Forrest Gump.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say Lord of the Rings.
Oh my lord, I really loved Lord of the Rings. I never thought I would like it. I was like, no, that is for nerds, and I became a nerd. I love it, and I have merch, and I have rewatched it maybe 6 times already. Oh.
What stresses you out?
What stresses me out?
Everything. Everything. That's the real question.
That's fair. Go on.
Oh god, like I get like so many things.
This moment right now.
I just had like a whole document just start like scrolling in my brain. You know the meme of the woman with all the math and stuff like that? That's me right now, where I'm like,
I am a natural worrier. But
That's just my baseline. I'm just constantly stressed. I'm very impatient. I'm probably like undiagnosed ADHD, as are most influencers.
Being on the phone to someone, especially when there's an unknown number, it's just like, be gone, demon.
I'm very nervous about like large parties and social gatherings. Checking work emails sometimes because I'm so nervous, like someone's mad at me for something.
Yeah, I get that.
Deadlines, I would say, not necessarily allotting enough time for myself outside of YouTube and stuff like that.
Like YouTube edits, I get behind on those all the time. So that's probably the biggest stressor that I have, is trying to make sure that I meet those personal deadlines if I had to pick one.
It's probably my own procrastination. Stresses me out. I stress me out. This took me 5 minutes. Why did I put it off for so long?
Projects have to be done, and I start losing sleep. Wendy starts seeing me get really grumpy.
What stresses me out is a lack of organization.
I would say like a messy house. My messy house stresses me out.
Stupidity.
Flying, the ocean, dark spaces, tight spaces, heights. And then just I'm overwhelmed easily. I have anxiety. I don't know. I get stressed out about most things.
I can't really label it down to one thing, but that's just anxiety, brother. That's just what it is.
I'm stressed out that my cats are going to die someday. I think about that a lot. Sorry to bring it down.
Existentialism sometimes gets to me. So
that's fair.
Oh, I'm not having enough time.
Time? Yeah, we'll just keep going with that same answer. Time. Just I wish we had more time.
Just finding the time to do something when I know I could do it and get it done.
I think time really does stress me out. And I think the older we get, the more you see time as a precious commodity, and you don't want to waste it on something that like maybe you don't want to watch, or people you don't want to hang out with, or a job you don't want to work.
I feel like I have so many things that I want to do all at the same time, and I know it's not possible.
I say yes to too many things because I don't want a no to turn into now you're never going to get an opportunity, but then I overload myself and then I sit there feeling completely overwhelmed.
Failure.
The concept of failure stresses me out.
Knowing that if I fail doing what I do, other people's livelihoods depend on me. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it's not really controlling, because I don't find myself a controlling person, but it's just I set personal goals for myself, and to not hit those goals is frustrating for me.
Not living up to expectations.
The fact that my content doesn't hit the algorithm and hit the viewers that it could. If my video is not performing well versus others, it does stress me out because I feel like, man, I could be there.
For the longest time, it was just knowing what to post, because I felt like, if these people aren't content with what I'm posting, then they're gonna unsubscribe. I let that eat at me, and again, now I'm just a lot more content.
When things don't go according to plan.
Copyright. Every morning when I wake up, there's a brief moment of stress and worry of, am I gonna see another demonetized notification email?
Yeah. I went to see Fall Guy the other day, and I spent all week on this Kendrick and Drake video. They're like, oh, sorry, Universal claimed it. They're gonna make money from it. And there's nothing I could have done. I was just walking into the theater. And I ended up not liking that movie, I think, because I was in such a bad mood.
This is fair use, No, it's not. Not to me. So
You never know what might happen one day, and then just like
Nothing.
entire catalogs of stuff disappears.
Yeah. Waking up and having to choose to acknowledge that I can only really control what's going on in my life right now. And even then, I can almost sometimes not control what's going on in my own life right now,
What helps you relax?
Well, what can I say for the internet?
I know what Sam wants to say.
Napping.
He's a big napper.
I'm a big napper. If I'm too stressed, I need a nice little nap.
Yeah.
Either sleeping or playing games, like video games.
Video games. Drawing.
Video games.
Video games.
Yeah, I mean, it's video games.
Yeah.
I play a lot of Pokemon Unite.
Unless I'm playing like Dark Souls, then I'm even more stressed.
What helps you relax? Oh, video games, and then cut to them playing Elden Ring and just rage quitting.
I would say non-stressful video games. Like, I like Mario Party. I like playing that with my brother.
Tacos.
I'm gonna say eating.
Food. I don't think I've ever met a calorie I didn't like.
ASMR. I love ASMR, which that I'm still closeted about, but not anymore. I'll own it.
Work. If I'm not working, I don't know what to do with myself.
It's kind of weird. You think like being a reactor, like when I'm not reacting, I don't want to watch things, but I do, and that's K-dramas.
To be able to have a show that I can just watch without reacting to, chill out and just calm down.
Rotting on the couch and spending time with like family.
A good TV show, a bath.
Take a hot bath and have a cup of tea and read a book, all alone with my own imagination for half an hour, maybe an hour.
Taking a breath and like sitting in my room, having the lights on low and listening to music.
I am a huge fan of just going on like late night drives, put on like synthwave music, and then just go drive through the mountains.
David Bowie. Definitely. Love
Nice.
David Bowie. He just takes me in a very zen place, and
My wife.
I think my partner. I think she helps me relax.
Love the fact that I can talk with her and have actual conversations, and it actually helps both of us.
Having the right teammate, it's everything for sure.
My child is a great de-stressor because she's chaotic. She's a nutter.
Oh, my cats.
These two and talking to my mom. She can talk me down off anything.
Hanging out with my fiance and our dog and playing with them outside. Going outside is great. I recommend it to all influencers. Go outside, touch grass, as people would say.
Vacations now. going somewhere where I can just kind of immerse myself in nature, not focusing on what I do every day,
Going for walks and like listening to podcasts and stuff like that. It's really relaxing. It's getting out of the house, which I'm very much an indoor cat. So this works out really well for me until I'm like, I need to leave.
Yeah.
I need real oxygen, not the stagnant stuff that's in my house.
I think I feel you on that. What is a hobby or passion you have outside of TV and film?
Cars. Oh my God. Cars for sure.
Cars. So I have some expensive vehicles. I like fashion, so I have like a bunch of expensive clothes. Like there's just so many to pick from, man.
Cosplay and video games, I would say.
Right. Travel. I guess travel when I can. I love history stuff, so I try to go to all the historical sites.
I would say just trying new places, new food, new drinks, anything that I haven't been.
I will sometimes just go out for a drive and like drive around to places I'm not familiar with, or just go walk around. And honestly, that's pretty nice, like to just get out of the house more and just clear my mind a bit.
I love party planning, and I love interior decorating.
I like to think of myself as a pretty good cook. That's another form of artistic expression for me.
I used to be very interested in art. I wanted to become an artist and start drawing and painting full time.
Painting and drawing, visual arts, fine arts, which is actually what I went to school for.
I do a lot of crafts. I like crocheting, painting, drawing on my iPad, writing.
Writing as well.
It's hard to say writing is a hobby when I went to school for it, but that's something that I do on the side that I love.
I love, utilizing the creativity.
Well, I haven't done it really much recently, but playing guitar.
And just like, I don't know if it would be considered a hobby, but like I am very, very big into music. So I love going to concerts and like music festivals. I go to music festivals all the time.
Dance. Yeah, I danced like my whole life. So
I started out as, like wanting to pursue a career in dance and in theater and stuff like that.
Another thing that I really like to do is ice skate. Because I used to do competitive gymnastics when I was younger, and to do so, you have to ice skate.
Sword fighting. I loved doing fight choreography. I loved the performance of it.
I have a theater degree, so theater is also a pretty large passion in my life, and like musical theater and things like that. Politics. You like politics. You pay attention to politics.
I do. I'm a junkie. I got a poli-sci minor in college, and I really understand it.
D&D. That's my true love.
I love board games. I love board games.
I've always wanted to play D&D. No one's ever wanted. I've never played. But
I like building Legos. So if anyone wants to send me a Lego set, my PO box is I'll make sure Eric links it below.
I really like cutting wood and trying to piece it together. I don't know if that's like the Lego builder in me, or if that's like I've always been somebody that liked to build things.
I wish I could be like, oh, I'm really great woodworker, or I make shoes. I don't know, man. I don't have time for hobbies. I am really into sports, so I keep up with everything like football and basketball, and I play games with my friends.
I'm a UFC, NBA fan, NFL, like anything that I can just chill out with my boys and just hang out with.
My biggest hobby right now is like working out. Oh, I should have said that for the stress relief thing. Oh yeah, that's
a good one.
What fictional character do you relate to or just care deeply about?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Why are you saying these difficult questions?
Oh man, there's so many. I usually find ways to relate to most every character.
So Nikki has identified me as someone who she claims has shown in protagonist energy.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, my subscribers are going to be able to answer this so much better than I am being put on the spot. They're going to be like, what about this person?
I'm going to say Padme Amidala. She will always be an OG for me. Her character has just always resonated with me. Ride or die for life.
I'm gonna go into my Harry Potter bag and pull out Ginny Weasley. And she was shy, and she had this crush on Harry Potter, and I was small, and I was shy, and I had a crush on Daniel Radcliffe, so immediately I was like right there, but she was kind of like who I wanted to be, and she has stuck with me all these years later.
On the Walking Dead side of things, I always related a lot to Sasha.
A combination between Buffy Summers and her slightly evil co-star Faith. Growing up, Buffy was always my escape. I mean, I was never really like super close with like my father or anything like that. So it was, and I didn't have a lot of friends. So it was like my friends were the characters from Buffy. So
I've always found myself tied to Anya from Buffy, how she might be on the autism spectrum and all of that. And it's just, and not just that though, but some of the mannerisms, it's just like, I can see it personally. So
one is Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated. Like I aspire to be that level of like snarky or sarcastic. And then there's disgust from Inside Out. When I saw her, I was like, I feel like that's my spirit animal.
Ojama Jojo Remi or Magical Doremi. It was an anime that for kids dubbed. And the main character, whose name is Doremi, very hot-headed. She loves steak very specifically. She loves being a witch, and that just gravitated me towards her so much.
Do you love being a witch?
I want to be a witch.
Mikasa from Attack on
I
Titan.
would say, and not like I relate to him, but Levi will always be. I'm always thinking about him. He deserves the world, you know.
Of course, my boy Luffy. You know, just the free spirit. You know,
Goku is top of the list for sure. Every obstacle, he just beat it or tried to find a way or just wouldn't give up on it. That was the first time I've ever seen anything like that in media.
But I think most recently Sanji, Vince Smoke Sanji from One Piece, with his family and cooking, those are two things that's really spoke to me as a character.
I guess I mean, I don't really relate to him, but I love him. I would say Rengoku.
Oh, of course.
Definitely one of my favorites. I think he's so pure.
My favorite DC character is Connor Kent, the original Superboy. He's the clone of Superman Lex Luthor and has the possibility of, doing great things and has the role model of Superman right there in front of him and is just trying to achieve that.
Dewey from School of Rock. I feel like I just kind of, I showed up. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing or where I'm supposed to be, but I'll be damned if it's not going to be a good time.
Deep cut, but Kevin Malone from The Office. I think I'm a little bit like that guy, a little bit.
Probably Chandler from Friends. I'm funny when I'm uncomfortable. So that's exactly what I try to be.
This is so silly. The Doc from Back to the Future.
Oh, the Doc, yeah.
Whenever I've been scared to do anything, like I'm very scared of flying. Okay, but what would Doc do?
Yeah.
And it's so stupid. I don't know why I'm like that.
Characters like Wesley from Princess Bride. Or I guess kind of like along the lines of like a Zorro-ish kind of character, kind of like that suave, debonair. Those are the kind of characters that I'm like, oh, I want to be more like that.
Still Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I love his outlook on everything. Yeah. I hope to have that type of effect on the world where I maybe go into a situation, I make it more positive than negative. So maybe that.
Right.
I would say like Barry, but he's like psycho, but it was just such a funny show. I cared about him up until a certain point as a character and his well-being because he just wasn't all there and didn't have like the greatest life.
Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. He really didn't know his place in the world. He just knew he didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. And Charlie Conway from The Mighty Ducks. I might not be the best at anything that we do, but my team of people trust me enough to let me lead.
$1 Million Baby.
Oof.
And just like the relationship between Hilary Swank and Clint Eastwood. Like I loved the like kind of pseudo dad-daughter-ish relationship.
I'm quarter Japanese, and meeting Mr. Miyagi was like huge. And then like he'd make facial expressions that like reminded me of my dad. I think that character is the one that had the most profound effect on me.
You remember that movie Turning Red? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, that Pixar movie. Yeah. That story of like the literally Chinese immigrant living in Canada, separating from their parents' culture. That movie hit me really hard.
Something that pops in my head first is Steven Universe. With Pearl, there's a lot of projection and a lot of willing to sacrifice herself for others, but not necessarily looking in the mirror and being willing to do that for herself. So I was like, ouchie, stop yelling at me.
Bruce Wayne, Batman, also Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Like, I don't relate to them in the sense of like the dead parents or the dead uncle situation, obviously, but I love how they're both written in their own perspectives and how they handle day-to-day life. And really you relate to them because of them trying to balance things out.
The movie Parenthood, actually, I think, with Keanu Reeves and Steve Martin, they're trying to find work-life balance. They're overwhelmed, little kids, and dealing with relationships and issues. So that was one that I can think of recently.
And this might be recency bias, but Thorfinn, man, like from Vinland Saga, like seeing Thorfinn's journey from going from a killer to a pacifist, learning about himself, learning how to fill himself with things other than, hatred and revenge is something that resonates with me as well. Not that I, was a killer and focused on revenge, but we set these goals for ourselves, sometimes unrealistic goals, and we don't achieve them. And then it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? You made this your whole life's goal and you didn't accomplish it, or you couldn't accomplish it. I think people need to give themselves grace and learn how to pivot when you need to,
absolutely.
So I would say Thorfinn for sure.
What is your guilty pleasure show or film?
That like normally implies that whatever it is not something that is like well liked, right?
This means that it has to be something that other people wouldn't really necessarily
know that you watch. When I hear guilty pleasure, I kind of think of like, what would you be embarrassed to admit that you like watching?
I embrace what I watch, but
that's fair.
I don't consider this a guilty pleasure. I think it was at the time when it was first released, so I had called it a guilty pleasure. But Josie and the Pussycats, I have stood firm that movie was ahead of its time, and it's a classic.
One of them is for sure The Notebook. Call me what you want, but that movie is just too much, dog.
I love Fight Club. It just like fuels the like inner like counterculture emo kid in my heart.
God, Thunderpants. Thunderpants is a 2002 movie about a young boy who wants to become an astronaut. He has bowel problems. He has 2 stomachs, and he uses that ability to go to space.
The first Fast and Furious movie. That's my guilty pleasure. Yeah,
because the cars.
It's not a great movie. The lines are extremely cringe.
It's the Anna Karenina film with Keira Knightley, who's another one of my idols in life. Oh, I freaking love that movie.
I would say the most recent thing would be Slaughterhouse. People don't like that movie, but I loved it. I interviewed the director, and I was like, this should have won an Oscar.
I love The Mindy Project. I don't know that that's a guilty pleasure. It's just not in suit with what I typically watch on my channel.
I guess some people would say the Arrowverse because a lot of people don't like them shows.
House of Anubis. Definitely.
That is like
absolutely.
That's our show.
Oh my goodness. We can watch it at any time.
Yeah.
Even after we've just finished it. Like a soap opera mystery that's kind of cheesy, but is also like the best show of all time to us.
Very easily Full House. I loved that show so much as a kid.
American Dad as well, like especially the early seasons.
Once Upon a Time is definitely a guilty pleasure show.
Yeah.
Oh, Gilmore Girls.
It's definitely One Tree Hill. From high school. I like all those, like the OC and Desperate Housewives, like those early 2000s dramas.
Same with Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is actually the reason why I became a nursing assistant in the first place. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be just like Grey's Anatomy. Hospitals are not, it's nothing like it.
I know my guilty pleasure is like the Helliverse, so Has Been Hotel and I Love a Boss. Those are some of my guilty pleasures.
Anime, man.
Yeah.
I watch so much anime. And it's mostly just shonen.
So I like a lot of like slice of life, just like chill. Nobunaga Oda Cinnamon or something like that. It's basically like Nobunaga Oda gets like reincarnated as a Shiba Inu, and he's just like going through life as his dog. Makes you feel good, and it's something you can kind of just have on and kind of just chill,
Yeah.
My guilty pleasure show is Love is Blind.
Love is Blind on Netflix is such a guilty pleasure. It is so messy.
I like reality TV. I watched Love Island, and then Sam recommended this other show called Traitors, which I really liked.
I would say reality TV is my guilty pleasure.
For me, it's reality TV. Yeah, like I've watched all of the Love is Blind. Guilty pleasure, and I hate saying it out loud, is the Kardashians. I hate it. A lot of like the Netflix like Love is Blind and The Ultimatum. Yeah. Like those trash shows are just wonderful.
During COVID, we watched to like cope with all the horrors of the world, we watched 90 Day Fiance, which was super fun.
Game show type, like Survivor, Big Brother, like that type, to like Housewives, like all of the like Love Island,
like the real just trashy
Temptation Island. If you look into what that is, that's like the hottest garbage.
Cooking shows like Chopped and Iron Chef, those.
It would probably just be honestly how much time I spend watching YouTube.
I'm a dork. I watch a lot of science videos.
Just like reactions and like video game stuff. I probably could do a lot better if I didn't spend so much time.
What show or film gave you your favorite reaction experience with the channel?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, man.
If we're talking about viewership, Naruto. If we're talking about just pleasure of like watching, probably Haikyuu.
Suicide Squad.
Misery. Silence with the Lambs. It.
Fall.
Fall
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That, Fresh, and The Night House. All three of those, like just from memory, those were so fun.
I could say the Happy Death Day video. I could say Hereditary. The Insidious ones, like that. I couldn't list just one movie at all.
Hereditary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like that was
scarred me for a life.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah.
Alien? I don't know. I remember having so much fun. I just remember like laughing at how ridiculous we were.
Yeah, Band of Brothers was my very first like TV show that I reacted to. I was on my last year of high school. I was going to write a paper about World War II, and I ended up just writing a paper about Band of Brothers. So it formed my channel, but it also gave me an A, so I'm very happy about that.
Red Dwarf was a huge turning point for our channel, and we
Right.
had this whole like community of people come out from the woodworks, and we were like, who are all of you? And they were like, we're Red Dwarfers, and we were like, what is happening?
I gotta say Prison School, man. Prison School was a wild ride. Like, you know, I have a sense of pride in for the channel that we were able to do something special like that.
The most fulfilling one was One Piece, because that's the one that made us feel like this is working. Like this, there's something here that's special.
Probably Kenobi. I think it's particularly that trailer, that infamous the Kenobi trailer, but I don't know if anything's topped that just yet. Just the emotions, but not even believing that I was alive at the same time that this was even happening, that this was happening in Star Wars right now. Just I'll never get over that.
I definitely enjoyed watching Loki.
Oh, I was gonna say Loki season 2.
We were debating, we were laughing, like falling in love with the characters. Everybody was talking about Loki on social media.
It was such a fun watch that it even editing it, I didn't feel like work. It was just so fun.
Buffy definitely did. For example, Once More with Feeling. I had no idea, like, I feel like there are some people who come into that episode knowing what the gist is. I had no idea what was going to happen.
And I kind of felt the same way about Fallout, where I didn't know anything going into it, and I was having such a good time. Like you can tell when people are like, kind of like, oh, that was fun, and then like when people are like, this is it, I love this.
Oh, LA Confidential.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
I think that or The Usual Suspects.
Okay, so like the twist ones?
Yeah.
Oh, this is really mean, but I like the ones that I can mess with.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Sixth Sense. I still love that.
People still reference my Flash reaction in season 3 when Savitar was revealed. Because people say that's like the biggest, craziest reaction I've ever had. Because I was like, oh my god!
We also recently watched Heavenly Delusion.
I was about to say that.
And we're still thinking about it.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
smoke
Yeah,
is
we
just
just
coming out of my
finished
head
it.
that whole time. Just
Quicksilver. When he showed up in WandaVision, that was huge. I was excited for anything Grogu related in The Mandalorian, anything with Invincible, especially the end of the first episode, the pilot episode.
One of them has to be Stranger Things, the running up that hill.
Best one is probably the running up that hill.
Oh my
Max
god!
and Stranger
Yes,
Things.
that is the best one. Thank you. How did I miss that? That is literally the best one.
The Patriot or Cinderella Story.
I would have to say Time of the Doctor.
But I was gonna say Last of Us, the third episode.
Some of my favorite reactions of myself are actually the ones where I'm like crying my face off, but because it just like feels like vulnerable but real. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird to say at the end of a reaction, like, oh, that was a good reaction. Because it's just your genuine reactions. But I knew. I was like, that was a good one.
Like, I don't know how people do this alone, walking into emotional buzzsaws like that. Because if I didn't have Jay being Big Papa Bear there at a moment, or just like, I don't know what to do with myself. This is.
I can do it by myself, probably.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. It's been nice talking to you.
What show or film do you wish you could erase from your memory and react to again for the first time on camera?
Oh, react to on camera.
Yeah, not just flat out. Yeah, react to.
I thought that question was gonna just be like, which one can you erase and never have seen ever? And I was gonna have an immediate answer, and then I was like, oh, to rewatch again.
If I was to erase a movie from my memory in general, Morbius, because that was dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I have a lot of answers for this.
That's a tough question.
That's tough.
I would definitely react to The Walking Dead 100, you know, again and all that stuff. I get hit with the same emotion. Same thing with Game of Thrones, whether it's the music or what.
I would if I had an editor, I would redo all of Game of Thrones.
Maybe Game of Thrones from the beginning, because I jumped on it so late. But like watching it live in the moment, I wish.
Probably Game of Thrones. The only reason I didn't say Dragon Ball is because if I've seen so many anime, Dragon Ball wouldn't sit the same for me now as it did when I was a kid.
Right,
So so Game of Thrones for sure.
I also read a lot of Attack on Titan, so when I was watching the anime, I knew a lot of the stuff already going into the anime because I read it because I'd be impatient. So to erase my mind, actually watch a show without having the manga's knowledge would be really cool, and actually get to record my reactions to it.
Probably Marvel, like the original Marvel movies.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how big the fandom is that I was like, oh, I wish that I could like have that on camera because I was having a great time experiencing all of that for the first time.
Avengers Endgame.
I was about to say Endgame. Endgame probably would be
like if we could get that a fresh reaction on tape, like that's the hotness for as far as like what we bring to the table.
Ooh boy, that last 20 minutes of Endgame. Yikes!
Maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's such an underrated Marvel show. It was a blast to go for, and I would do it again. So, and it wouldn't impact anything. So,
I wouldn't mind being able to watch Firefly again.
I'll say number one is probably Buffy. Battlestar for sure. Lost,
Avatar, Snowfall, and Peaky Blinders.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, that's a good one, Morgan.
Scream and John Wick.
Either Scream, like the whole franchise if I could, or Malignant. Malignant was so good. So anything with like a reveal, I feel like anything with a big reveal.
I wish that I would not have seen Barbarian in theaters. I wish that I would have waited.
That would have been great.
So I went and I saw it opening weekend, and there was only one other person even in the theater. And it was the following week that it had started to pick up steam, and then everybody was talking about it. I was like, damn it.
Interstellar, probably.
That's a good
that
one.
film, and my husband and I, you know, whenever we scroll through other reaction videos, that's always like a super popular one because it's just so mind-bending. So I would love to delete that and rewatch it again.
Yeah.
One that comes to mind very quickly for me, because of his reaction, was Turning Red. I think it was beyond your expectations.
Yeah, because they marketed that movie terribly. It was terribly mismarketed.
Yeah.
And if I knew it was a boy band movie, I would have watched it right away.
For me, Lord of the Rings.
Besides Lord of the Rings.
I mean, yeah, that would
good
be
answer.
amazing. Yeah, Lord of the Rings for sure.
That feels like probably a very common answer too.
I would say Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Do that all over again. Like feel all of the tears. I still cry at the same points.
That's my barometer if I'm going to enjoy someone's channel or not. Yeah, I've probably seen almost every channel on YouTube. If they watch Lord of the Rings, I've watched your reaction.
100% he has.
It kind of seems like a cop-out answer, but to be able to rewatch Doctor Who for the first time would be so cool. The ups and downs of that show, I think, would be really, really fun to experience again.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Hands down, Mandalorian. The amount of crying that I did during certain episodes, even when it was like just like season 1, but like season 2 with, you know, like Ahsoka, my favorite animated character in Star Wars, like making her first live appearance, just a basket case. And I wish I had my channel at that time because I think it would have been just absolutely great reactions for everybody.
Yeah. What advice would you give to your past self if you can go back in time when you first started the channel?
Probably the first thing I'd say is, hey man, it's me from the future.
Hey, it's me, like, from what? A couple years later? What? No, you're not. You look just like me.
Fabulous questions, by the way. Thank you for all of this.
Thank you.
Very introspective. This is great.
Oh my god, especially at the very beginning, be way more careful with the copyright editing because we lost a lot of stuff in the beginning.
Record like a couple of months worth of content before
you start the channel.
Before you start anything,
Right.
bank a couple of months and then you set yourself up forever.
Yep.
Oh my god, I would set them up with everything that we know about audio, camera.
Throw away that green blanket right away.
What's your first episode on a proper TV instead of the broken laptop?
Lower your pitch on music.
Yeah.
That would have avoided a lot of copyright issues.
Learn editing sooner.
Know the industry. Pay attention to YouTube as a platform. Understand it. Right. It's not life or death. It's not going to make or break who you are, but you need to know the rules of the game.
I wish I could probably tell my past self, like, don't care about the numbers so much. I would tell myself that you can still be successful, you can make a living out of this without chasing that all the time.
Don't die for your art. Being the first is always great. Obviously, like the algorithm's gonna work in your favor if you're monetizing your content, but at what cost for your mental health?
And yeah, just take your time, relax, and don't stress yourself out, because at the end you're going to put it out anyway, and even if you put it out on time, it still might not do well and everything like that. So just take your time, make it the best thing you possibly can, and as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
I would tell myself to prioritize my life pretty equally with this. A lot of times it feels like it's like 80% editing, 20% living. Prioritize your life, and then also just be willing to let go. You know, I'm never going to end up covering this show, and that's okay.
Be patient. Everything is not for you. Do not compare yourself to other people, and focus on your friends, your family, and your personal health, and take vacations, and know that everything will come when it's supposed to come.
You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna deal with this, and this, but hey, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be okay. It may not feel like it, but it will be. You just gotta go with the flow.
You're gonna fail, and that doesn't make you a bad person. Just just get back up, keep going.
Some of this stupid shit you're going through, promise you, it's not that important. It's not worth getting stressed out about.
Be optimistic instead of the opposite, pessimistic, because it was stressful thinking like, what if this is the last one that gets views? What if they hate me? What if they reject me? What if they get sick of me? So I think just be more optimistic, glass half full, believe in yourself. That also sounds cliche, but I wish I could have back then.
Hey, you, chill out. just it's everything. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be, yeah. Just be you.
Oh, stop being so scared. It's okay if you do something wrong. There's charm in finding things out on the way. It's not gonna be perfect the first times.
Do not quit. You have all the tools you need, and you have the ability to gain more tools that you don't have yet. Just keep going.
Have an idea, try it. Don't be scared of failure. If you fail, you can start something new tomorrow or try it again tomorrow. Failure is not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody don't believe in your idea, don't mean your idea is bad.
To be more confident, because I feel like I never would talk about this to people like in real life. I just feel like I just need to embrace it a little more, because the more confident you are on the outside, the more confident you can be when you're in front of a camera.
And then I would just say be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be comfortable and just be yourself, and people will come.
Like, don't be so self-conscious about like your thoughts on something. Like in the beginning, I was very much like second guessing, like, oh, like, should I say this? Should I not? And keeping a lot of things in my head. And I think that's why I was pretty quiet.
Don't ever respond to hate comments, because I opened Pandora's box the first time I did. Like, you know, because you do get a little rush. That's not good for anybody. That's not helping me. And it's only a temporary fix. So
just take it easy. Be easy on yourself. I think that kind of went out the window pretty quickly for me, where I was just like, I'm not going to be able to please everybody. I can't do that in life. I'm certainly going to be able to do it on the internet. It's okay that when somebody watches it, they disagree with you or they have a judgment about it. That doesn't change who you are. Like, you're not a bad person because you said this thing on the fly. And so just be easy on yourself.
Let go of expectations and let go of the idea that you need to make yourself something for someone else.
Don't forget that this is fun.
Right.
At the end of the day, we did this because it was fun, and we did it because
we enjoyed that aspect of watching and reacting ourselves. So
I wouldn't do anything different. I would just tell myself to follow my gut. That way I made the same choices the same way.
Good.
Because
Yeah,
if
don't
I
change.
didn't, it wouldn't have worked out the way it did now.
Just don't worry in general, because this is going to be an amazing ride. It's a rewarding experience, and you don't just have a really, really great time expanding your taste buds and all of that, but it's also expanding your circle. And try not to include any spoilers, but it's going to be one of the best experiences of your life.
Right.
So trust your elder.